Hey everyone, and welcome to Cooking Companion TV. I'm Jenna Edwards, and this is a recipe demo of smoked salmon and chive Irish soda bread from Hermine on the Great British Bakeoff Season 11. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. We start with 15 grams of chives, 50 grams of gruyère cheese, and 120 grams of smoked salmon or trout. I ran out of salmon, so I had to finish it out with smoked trout. Now we mince up the smoked fish and the chives and grate the cheese. Weigh out 200 grams of plain flour and measure in 2 tablespoons each of wholemeal flour and spelt flour. I only have rye on hand, so I'm doing 4 tablespoons of rye flour. Measure in half a teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, along with half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Whisk it all together. Add in 2 tablespoons of porridge oats. I used what I had on hand, which was rolled oats. A tablespoon of onion powder. And add in 30 grams of chilled salted butter in small pieces. And rub it into the flour until it's finely distributed. I stop when the flour looks like sand. Add in the fish, chives, and cheese, along with a few cracks of fresh black pepper, and stir it in well. The next part is tricky because it utilizes millimeters, which is not a typical American measurement. So in a measuring cup with millimeter units, crack in 1 large egg and pour in enough buttermilk that it measures 210 milliliters. Obviously, this is water, not buttermilk. I used powdered buttermilk that gets stirred into the dry ingredients, and I use water when the recipe calls for the milk. I jumped the gun a little bit here. You don't whisk the egg mixture yet. You first need to add in a tablespoon of honey to the liquids, and then you can whisk together the egg, the buttermilk, and the honey. Then we stir it into the dry ingredients, ideally with a round bladed knife per the original recipe. So I'm trying to cut in the wet ingredients with a silicone spatula. And I'm not trying to work the dough. This isn't that kind of bread. We don't want to develop the gluten. I just need to make sure all the wet and dry ingredients are evenly distributed. This is very similar to biscuit making. On a floured surface, turn the dough out, shaped into a ball, and slightly flatten it. Slightly. Take a sharp knife and cut a deep cross into it. I slightly stray from the original recipe at this point. Baking in a cast iron pan gives a nice crust on the bottom, so I'm going with that adaptation. And I'll bake at 400 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius for 45 minutes. Another slight variation from the original recipe. The bread is done when there is a slight browning on the crust. And there's our beautiful loaf. Mine doesn't get that tall, and I'm not sure if my buttermilk powder is deactivated because it's old or if I just pushed it down too hard or what, but it's still a glorious texture and flavor. I'm dying to try making my own butter. In the show, Hermine makes a black garlic butter to accompany this loaf. I have no idea where to find black garlic, so for now, I just go with lots of salted butter. And that is it for this demo of smoked salmon and chive Irish soda bread. Get the ingredient list below or at cookingcompaniontv.com/salmon soda bread. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe to this channel for more demos just like this. I'm Jenna Edwards, and thanks for watching.